presentation of Houston Astros baseball. Your front row seat to the Astros and Rockets.
We welcome you to Dyken Park in downtown Houston, Texas. Coming off a victory last night in front of a sold-out crowd. We have another big crowd gathering tonight for the middle game of a three-game series. The Astros trying to get back to 500. The Padres still own the best record in all of baseball at 15-5. Hi, everybody, and welcome to another evening of Astros baseball. I'm Todd Callis alongside Jeff Blum. Glad you could join us. And Blummer, stop me if you heard this before, but the Astros have a chance to win back-to-back games.
Man, it's only April 19th. Why don't we go ahead and do that? Check that off the box of things to do in 2025.
They have not won back-to-back all year long. One of three MLB teams to not have accomplished that. Now, when your 2 and 3 hitters are not getting it done like last night, somebody else in the lineup has to get it done, and lately it's been the bottom of the order.
Yeah, you got to have flashes of brilliance, and the 8-9 hitters for the Astros have done a very good job. We know that there's going to be guys rotating in and out of there, but more or less it's been Jake Myers and Cam Smith at the bottom, and you can see last night they did a great job of driving in runs. Cam Smith with 2 home runs, 4 RBIs in the game. And you saw Jake Myers getting on base. He scored on that first home run from Cam Smith, but he also is racking up some stolen base numbers, which is really interesting because the more he's on base, the more opportunities he's going to create. 7 stolen bases for the ball club, so great things happening at the bottom of the lineup.
Tied for the AL lead in steals is Jake Myers, and the 8-9 guys have been primarily Smith and Myers, and over the last 11 games, nobody doing it better.
Yeah, you'd like to see the 14 RBIs. You'd also like to see those run numbers start to creep up a little bit, because if these guys are getting on base at a 376 clip, that means you're turning the lineup over, and they need to start scoring some more runs for those guys that TK was talking about at the top.
When we come back, we'll talk about tonight's starting pitcher for the Astros. It's the local guy, Hayden Wisniewski. He gets to start against San Diego's Michael King. Also, we'll check in with Julian Morales about last night's starter, Ryan Gusto.
Back at Daikin Park, where the Astros have a 1-0 lead over the San Diego Padres. They would love to get a series win back-to-back games. We've seen good pitching from these Astros, especially some of the newer ones, including rookies like last night. Ryan Gusto getting another start, another opportunity, and doing a great job with it against a tough San Diego lineup. It was great to see him just give up those 2 earned runs last night over 5 innings pitched. That's the thing with him, too. They wanted to see just how deep he could go, how efficient he could be. He came at the Padres last night, impressing everyone with his ability to throw strikes. He did an excellent job of that, and that's what took him deeper into that game, giving this team a chance to win. Of course, the offense did that part too, but he earned his second major league win, so he will likely get another shot in that rotation. It's Hayden Wesneski's day today. He gets the ball, and he's pitched great too in this Astros uniform for the first time. Has loved every minute of it, coming off a career-high 10 strikeouts against the Angels. He felt strong. He's felt sharp. He's also used different weapons in many different ways, which has been great to see. So tonight he'll have to come up with another good plan against a good lineup in the San Diego Padres. But great options so far in this starting rotation, picking up for each other. But tonight it'll be Hayden's turn to look to give this team a chance to win. Stay right there. We're also going to talk some offense too. Astros coming with it tonight on this Saturday night.
Houston Astros baseball on Space City Home Network is presented by Papa John's. Order the 2 for $22 daily special. 2 large, 2-topping pizzas for only $22. And by your local Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places. Astros and Padres on a Saturday night, middle game of a 3-game series. Padres coming in 15-5. The Astros trying to get to 500 with a win tonight, and they'll do so with a local kid on the mound.
Sam Houston Bearcat Hayden Wesneski on the mound. He's 1-1 with a 4 ERA. That whip is beautiful, well under 1. He wants to keep it right there throughout this game against a tough hitting lineup. 21 strikeouts in 18 innings. He racked up 10 of them last time out, going 6 strong against the Los Angeles Angels. And got 10 strikeouts in that ball game. It's going to be a little bit tougher to find that swing and miss in this ball game.
Yeah, the Padres lead the league in batting average, and they are led by Fernando Tatis with a .342 batting average. He's got Luis Arraez behind him. His average has been moving up after an 0 for 13. Manny Machado hits third. He's hitting over 300. Gavin Sheets will hit cleanup. Xander Bogaerts with a night off. Oscar Gonzalez is in left field. Jose Iglesias is the shortstop. Tyler Wade moves from center field to second base tonight. Elias Diaz catches and bats 8th, and Connor Joe is in center field. and gets the start tonight for the Padres.
What's on Tap is presented by Art Car IPA. Wisniewski's got a sweeper, using it to righties in 23. 120 batting average against, a little bit lower total or lower whiff percentage this season. The average up a little bit here in 2025, but it was interesting because we had a conversation with Wisniewski in Seattle where he didn't use that pitch as much as he had in the past as a reliever. And the reason for that was he didn't feel comfortable with the shape of it or how it was coming out of his hand. But hopefully things are changing a little bit as we get a little bit deeper into the season. He gets more comfortable out of that starting role.
Hayden also talked to you in that conversation in Seattle about attacking the zone, and that's something Ryan Gusto did last night, and hopefully Hayden able to do so again. Can't be fearful of this Padres lineup as good as they are, but you have to make your pitches like that.
There you go. It was interesting to watch Gusto be hyper-aggressive with 94 miles an hour inside the zone. Fortunately, just a couple of hits sprayed around the field, and he was able to work through it.
0-2 pitch just misses outside. So far, Hayden has put the first 3 pitches where he's wanted to. That's a good sign.
Yeah, Tatis Jr. has a good command of the strike zone this season. You see under MD Anderson strike zone just a little bit off that outside edge and didn't bite.
Now fastball down and in. Hayden working with Victor Caratini behind the plate today. Yainer Diaz had caught 4 games in a row, all 3 in St. Louis in the first game of this series. So Caratini getting his first start since Sunday of last week. Swing and a miss. Wisniewski, who set a career high with 10 strikeouts his last start, begins this one with the breaking ball, the sweeper, to get the first strikeout.
You're exactly right. That was that sweeper. He went right back to it after that fastball inside. Made him aware of that inside corner and then swept it across the plate. That was beautiful.
Hayden's never been a guy who's been a regular in the Cubs rotation prior to coming over to Houston. So now getting a chance to get the ball every 5 or 6 days, Hayden making his 4th consecutive start this year. Only start number 26 of his career. So over his 4 big league seasons, the previous 3 with the Cubs, he hasn't totaled 30 starts yet. So everything's still kind of new in terms of being an everyday rotation guy or every 5-day rotation guy. And so far it's been looking pretty good.
It's been very good. And I think it's similar to his mound mate that he's facing up against today, Michael King, another guy that moved out of the bullpen into the rotation.
And Michael King, quietly one of the better starters in all of baseball the last couple of years. I don't hear his name on the elite list as often as you should. That pitch is away from a rise, and now the count's 3-1. So Hayden, after getting ahead 0-2 on Tatis before the strikeout, now is 3-1 on a rise. Luis had another 3-hit game last night. It was his 4th 3-hit game of the season. And that pitch is well up. And Wisniewski, who did not walk anybody his last 2 starts, issues a walk here to the second batter of the game. Astros starting defense is presented by Xfinity. Yordan Alvarez will be out in left field tonight. And that'll move Jose Altuve into the infield along with Christian Walker on the right side. Isaac Paredes and Jeremy Pena on the left side. Victor Caratini behind the plate. The DH belongs to Yainer Diaz tonight. There's a pitch that just misses low to Manny Machado, 1-0. Machado with good numbers in his career against Wisniewski, 3 for 5 with a home run.
Setting the off speed pretty good. Wisniewski, even with that number for Manny Machado, started him off with a curveball.
Home plate umpire Mike Malinsky tonight says that ball's outside a little bit. It's 2-0. Now the curveball, even if you have had previous at-bats against Wisniewski, is something you haven't seen. He has not used that curveball at all in his professional career until this season. Now he's 3-0 Machado, so after walking a rise on 5 pitches, he has fallen behind the dangerous Manny Machado, 3-0.
Yeah, a little different route to that 3-0 count. He missed well out of the zone to a rise, but a lot of these pitches just off the edge is not getting the call or the swing.
Big hopper to Paredes, almost lost it in the lights. They get the force at second. No chance for a double play. Plummer, you played here before. I guess a high chopper, a ball can get lost in the lights?
It can. You know, these light standards, they're up there, but they're not up as high as you would think at some of these other ballparks. And the times have changed a little bit. They've gone to the LED lighting, so a little more glare off the actual light standards. But Paredes did a good job of putting himself in position to make that play and at least get it out.
How many ground balls are that high in the air? So Paredes makes the force at second, and now it's Gavin Sheets. Machado swinging 3-0, grounds into a fielder's choice for the second out. Now Sheets takes a strike. Obviously, Manny Machado with a 3-0 count is going to try to do damage, but after missing on 7 of 8 pitches, that one ground ball out could get Hayden Wesneski back on track. Now he's ahead 0-2. Wesneski, after a 5-pitch walk, was down to the count 3-0, but got his second out. Now he's 0-2 on Sheets. Sharply hit off the glove of Christian Walker, which loaded up a bit. Cam Smith might have a play at second. His throw there not in time. Gavin Sheets has a double. So Sheets on an 0-2 pitch doubles down the right field line. He had a 2-hit game in last night's contest.
Gavin Sheets is off to a great start this season. He got a 2-strike sweeper down and in, and just drops the barrel on it. Unfortunately, Christian Walker just hit off the edge of his glove and got past him.
So now Wesneski deals with Oscar Gonzalez, facing this right-hand hitter for the first time in his career. And Gonzalez waves at the sweeper 0-1.
See if Wesneski can use that aggressiveness in his favor.
Gonzalez on the year, 6 for 18. You can see he's 4 of 8 facing right-hand pitchers this season. He might get a chance to play a little bit more regularly now as Jason Hayward joins a crew on the injured list. Hayward becomes the 3rd outfielder in the last week to 10 days to go on the IL for the Padres. They already had lost Jackson Merrill, and then Brandon Lockridge followed him to the IL. That one's up 2-1.
That Wesneski searching a little bit for that release point
with the heater.
Yeah.
So far, 11 out of 20 pitches out of the zone for Hayden. And a chopper towards Pena. 2 big hops for the Astros shortstop. He'll throw to first for the final out of the inning. So Wesneski works around less than his best control in the first, and he gets through the inning scoreless. starting lineup for the Astros. Jose Altuve back at the top. He's at second base tonight, followed by Isaac Paredes and Yordan Alvarez. Jeremy Pena slots up to the fourth spot. Christian Walker hasn't hit fifth in a while. Yainer Diaz is the DH. Victor Caratini, Jake Myers, and Cam Smith round out Joe Espada's lineup.
Got a tough customer tonight in Michael King. We talked about him working out of the bullpen previously in his career, coming over to San Diego and becoming that starter. He is off to a great start this season through 4 starts. He is 3-0 with a 2.42 ERA, 24 strikeouts in 22 1/3 innings for Michael King.
Jose Altuve, last 3 games, 5 for 12 to move that batting average up to .321. Good for 7th in the American League. Altuve, a couple of hits last night, his 9th multi-hit game of the season. Hits this one sharply, but right at the third baseman, Manny Machado. His play across in time. Altuve grounds out to start the inning.
StatCast 3D, powered by Google Cloud, is going to show you some of the stuff against lefties and righties. One left-hander in this game today. You're going to see more change-ups and four-seamers to those left-handed hitters on the season. On the right-hand side, you're going to see a pretty consistent mix of that sinker inside and off the outside edge to go with that sweeper slider off the outside edge to try and spin it for some swing and miss.
First pitch strike to Isaac Paredes. Isaac playing in his 20th game of the season, one of 4 Astros to start every game so far this year. That one's down and away, 1-1.
It's a good angle from behind center field, watching how Michael King will step towards that right-handed hitter and throw across his body.
There's a ball off the mound and into center field. Isaac snaps an 0 for 16 with that base hit here in the first inning.
Good for Isaac. Kind of got a tough pitch with the sinker down at the bottom of the zone, but had a good idea how to handle it. Letting it travel and shooting it back up the middle. See, that's a tough pitch at the bottom. Yingling flight cam shows you how he shot it through the center of that defense of the San Diego Padres.
Now Yordan Alvarez. Last night the Padres held Paredes and Alvarez to an 0 for 8. But the Astros still scored 6 runs thanks to the bottom of the order, as we mentioned in our warm-up before first pitch. You can see the number for Yordan underneath his batting average. He does not have a base hit this year in the first inning of any game. And that ball's into right center field. There is his first hit in the first inning, and it's going to go up and over the wall. That might not have helped the Astros. Paredes probably could have scored had that ball remained in play. Instead, an automatic double as Yordan crushes one to right center.
Good swing from Yordan. We need that bat to get going for the big man in the middle. Did a good job of staying on that pitch and staying in that right center field gap. He is such a good hitter when he goes gap to gap. It stayed on that one nicely. And you're right, TK, it's unfortunate it bounced over.
Julia.
Hey guys, Jeremy Pena rocking some pink tonight. See the Tate batting gloves, not for girls' night, but a gender reveal for his college roommate Danny and Christina. It's a girl. Congrats to his good friends who are watching.
Ground ball to third. They're going to come home, and Paredes will be out at home plate on the fielder's choice. Jeremy going after the first pitch, bounced one right to Manny Machado. We didn't even have time to talk about the gender reveal, but there's an out at home plate for the second out. So it's his college roommate?
College roommate. Yes.
Congratulations.
So
to that.
exciting. Danny and Christina.
So he said whatever color he's wearing, that's going to.
That's right.
Well, congrats to them. Out number 2. Pena still on first now after the fielder's choice. Once Yordan saw Pena or Paredes head home, surprised he didn't head over to third base at that point, but I guess he felt like he wanted to wait to make sure the play was made home.
It's been a while. Sometimes you get a little out of sorts. You just sit there watching the play going, man, it feels good to be out here at second base.
Now it's up to Christian Walker, hitting number 5 today. That's not where Walker is used to seeing his name in the lineup. In fact, The last 3 years, he has had 437 starts. 436 of them have been as the cleanup hitter with the Diamondbacks. And every game this year with the Astros has been in the cleanup spot. He has not hit fifth since the end of 2021. One time last year he batted third, but every other time he has been in that cleanup role for the Diamondbacks and the Astros. But a little switch in the lineup today. And the 0-2 pitch is taken off the plate. It's 1-2. Joe said he just wants to get the middle of the order going. Different look with Pena moving into the 4 spot.
You're just trying to shake things up and find a way to get guys going. I think you get to a point, 20 games in, 75 at bats, maybe you start to shake things up, have those uncomfortable conversations, but it's not because you don't think they can't do it. You're trying to create something.
Walker goes down on strikes here. King works around a couple of hits in the first inning. We're scoreless after 1. Time to check out tonight's Chevy Stroll Poll. We're going to ask you about stuff for the Astros staff. Framber Valdez has a curveball. Stephen Okert a slider. Hayden Wisniewski a sweeper. And Josh Hader also with that slider. Which is the most dominant breaking pitch of those 4 Astros pitches? Go to @SpaceCityHN. Use the hashtag Stroll Poll and send in your votes. We'll have the results later on. Good pitches.
Really interesting question. I like it.
There's Okert out there in the bullpen.
Good pitches mixed in there.
Very, very good pitches. We'll see that sweeper in play with the right-hander Jose Iglesias due up here in the second inning. Both teams had opportunities to score. Both teams had second and third. Astros with 1 out. Padres with 2 outs. Neither team got a run across in the first inning. Iglesias with a 5-game hitting streak starting play today. Swings and misses at the sinker. It's 1-1. Jose starting at shortstop tonight. Xander Bogaerts not in the lineup. He does not have great numbers against Wisniewski. That sweeper really gives Bogaerts trouble. So Mike Schilt giving Iglesias the start today at short, and obviously Bogaerts available to come off the bench later on. Ground ball hit right to Jeremy Pena. One shortstop retires the other as Pena throws out Iglesias for the first out of the inning. I'll bring up Tyler Wade. Padres kind of mixing and matching right now with the injuries to Jackson Merrill and Jake Cronenworth, and now Jason Hayward and Brandon Lockridge. So Wade last night played in center field, and now he's at second base today. Ground ball left side. Paredes moves nicely to his left and sidearm throws to first for out number 2.
Celebrate Easter with the Astros tomorrow night at Daikin Park. Learn more about ticket options and special Easter-themed fireworks an Easter-themed fireworks show by visiting Astros.com/Easter.
6:10 start tomorrow. It'll be a national telecast on ESPN. Framber Valdez against Dylan Cease. And a chance to watch fireworks afterwards. Of the sellout crowd last night, it felt like 90 to 95% of them stayed for fireworks. And now you got another opportunity to see fireworks tomorrow night.
Do it again. And we talked about it being on a national broadcast. So if you really have issues with that, just show up in person.
There you go. I like how you're thinking. 0-2 the count to Elias Diaz. And it's Framber going against his former battery mate, Martin Maldonado, who has caught Dylan Cease every start this year.
And it'll be a good matchup between Cease and Framber. A couple of aces going at it, so it should be a fun night at Daikin.
I feel like last year, one of the best series the Astros were involved in all year was their series against San Diego.
I completely agree, and I kind of walked away from that series in San Diego saying I thought in the National League that San Diego might have been the better team in all of the National League.
They did not do a ton this offseason to improve from last year, but they have come out of the gates 15-5. This ball into right field. Cam Smith got a pretty good break on it and makes an easy catch for the final out of the inning. Hayden Wisniewski rebounds with a strong second inning, 1-2-3.
This week on Astros Bases Loaded, we introduce you to new third base coach Tony Perez-Chica. Mauricio Dubon gets us the facts on Logan Van Wy, and Spencer Arrighetti gives us his take on the Rockets. All that and more on Astros Bases Loaded tonight after the postgame show.
Astros threatened against Michael King in the first inning when Paredes and Alvarez, who were shut down last night, had a single and a double back-to-back. Unfortunately, Jordan's double went over the right center field wall for an automatic double, and the Astros would fail to score with second and third and one out. Now Yainer Diaz, Victor Caratini, and Jake Myers trying to start the second inning here against Michael King. And this ball grounded towards the backhand of Jose Iglesias, and he'll make the play across in time for out number one. King in his first start against the Braves lasted just 2 2/3 innings. Threw 76 pitches in those 2 2/3 innings, gave up 4 hits and 4 walks. But since then, his last 3 starts, just 2 runs allowed over now 21 innings, including tonight.
CG last time out.
How about it?
Against Colorado, throwing 110 pitches. I think what's interesting about Michael King and talking to some of the people in San Diego is that he's kind of pitching to a little more contact. We're seeing more four-seamers in the zone, but the sweepers and some of his off-speed, he's trying to create a little bit more contact inside the zone and using the defense behind him. And a lot of that had to do from hanging around old Astro named Joe Musgrove, who does a very good job pitching deep in games by not necessarily going and getting so much swing and miss, but using some soft contact to get some quick early outs in counts.
Yeah, that was a big mindset change, because as a reliever, a lot of times you're looking for strikeouts, but a little different as a starter.
No, that's so true, and that's kind of how he's had to adapt. But he's actually worked well with Ruben Niebla, the pitching coach of San Diego, because Niebla had the same situation with a guy named Seth Lugo, who moved out of the bullpen into the rotation, and he's been very successful. So changing the mindset a little bit and learning how to get deeper into ball games.
There's a breaking ball for a strike to Victor Caratini.
I think it also lends itself to learning how to read swings, as opposed to, like you said, coming out of the bullpen, you just come firing fuel and looking for swing and miss.
Oh, and misses into Victor, 2-2.
That pitch is new also. He's always had a two-seamer, but that little Greg Maddux Eraser X on the inside to lefties is tough.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, you can't lay off that one. You see it on the inside and you give up, and then it just moves back over the plate.
That might be a weapon he tries to use against Jordan at some point. That ball was over the plate a little bit, and Victor fouled it away. It's 2-2. Well, King said his goal this year is to throw 200 innings. And this is from a guy who made that transition to a starter. He was working on backfields this spring, facing his own teammates and building up his stamina before he got into a spring training game. And his theory was, if I'm going to throw 2 innings against Seattle and Randy Arozarena goes after a pitch that I threw that I thought was a good pitch, I can't ask him about it afterwards, but I can ask Manny or Fernando or my guys. I don't want to go out there for 2 innings against another team. I want to wait till I'm built up. So he waited, and they didn't start until later in the spring when he was 3 or 4 innings ready to go.
I don't mind that concept. That's pretty interesting.
Yeah, he said, I don't get the feedback from the guys early in the spring that I need, but I'll go against my own guys and get that feedback. That one's over the head of the jumping Luis Arraez. Victor Caratini is going to head to second base, and he will get there with a double. Caratini has the Astros' 3rd hit of the night against Michael King.
All this guy does is hit. He fouled off a couple of tough pitches in this at-bat, kind of forcing Michael King off the fastball sinker mix and got a sweeper down and just got it over the head of Arraez for that double. What a great at-bat.
So now here's Jake Myers coming off another 3-hit game. That one's well wide of the plate, 1-0.
Yeah, good take.
Jake had a 3-hit game against the Cardinals on Tuesday, then had another one last night. That's why he's 6 for 11 his last 3 and has that average up to 308. Jake has been aggressive early in counts. Takes that one off the plate, 2-0.
I don't have a chance to get aggressive on a pitch well within the zone because Michael King does not want to fall behind 3-0.
All of a sudden, your number 9 hitter is Cam Smith coming off a 2-home run game. Well, Jake might see a pitch here to his liking at 2-0. Hits the ball in the air to center field. Playable for Connor Joe. Caratini's going to tag, but he's going to bluff a go. And that'll be the second out of the inning.
Good swing on a good pitch, but not, it was hit well, but not barreled.
Well, here's Cam Smith getting a nice hand from the crowd here at Daikin Park, coming off his first multi-home run game of his career. 6th youngest Astro in franchise history to have a 2-home run game or more. Cam hit home runs in his first 2 at-bats last night. A 3-run shot in the second and a solo shot in inning 4. Goes after that fastball and misses 0-1. First sweeper he's seen from King, and he lays off it. It's 1-1.
Some big misses on that sweeper in this inning for Michael King. When he got near the zone was hit for a double by Caratini.
Tried to hold up, goes too far. Now Cam flips the bat as he couldn't lay off that sweeper. It's 1-2. Cam will use his timeout here. Seen a lot of base hits during the season from Cam to the right side of the field. Both home runs last night hit into the Crawford boxes and left. All 3 of his home runs so far in his young career have been hit to left field. Goes down on strikes here. And a strikeout number 2 for King. Both strikeouts have ended innings.
Every Tuesday night is Dollar Dog Night presented by Texas Chili Company at Dyken Park. Enjoy $1 hot dogs all game long every Tuesday night game throughout the season. Visit astros.com/dollardogs to get your Dollar Dog Night tickets today. Hayden Wesneski back to work, coming off a great start, but really it's been a great season so far for Hayden, who's had all of his pitches working at one time or another. He's just felt good every time he's been out there, really gotten a rhythm, he said. And that last start, that's what led him to be able to keep attacking the zone and really collect a lot of strikeouts. 10, a career high for him. Joe Espada loves watching this guy on the mound. I know you guys do too, from where you sit, all the emotion that he pitches with. Called him a bulldog on the mound. And then Josh Miller was talking about him a couple days ago, talking about that slider being so good early in that first start. And just the way he was getting swing and misses there helped his fastball. So everything's just kind of clicking for Hayden, and they hope it continues to keep.
Yeah, it's been fun to watch. Hayden coming in 3rd in the American League in batting average against, trailing only the Rangers' Tyler Mahle and the Angels' Tyler Anderson. Hayden starting the night at 156 opponents batting average against. Gave up 1 hit in the first inning, so the Padres so far are 1 for 7 against him this 4th start of his Astros career. Connor Joe leading off. Takes a strike here. It's 1-2. Joe was recalled from AAA El Paso Monday. 0 for 4 so far in a Padres uniform. Spent the last 2 years with the Pirates. Played 123 games for the Buccos last year. Wisniewski needed 21 pitches to get through the first inning, only 9. He had a 1-2-3 second. Called on the outside edge. Connor Joe didn't like the call. It's pretty close for the 2-strike count. And that is strikeout number 2 for Wisniewski.
Way too close on that filthy sweeper going across, and Statcast 3D, powered by Google Cloud, will show you what he has against lefties on the left-hand side, righties on the right-hand side. He's already made it one time through the lineup, so we'll see if he sticks to these percentages.
Fernando Tatis Jr. misses the sinker. It's 0-1. Fernando struck out on a sweeper his first time up. That ball crushed to left field, and that's going to be gone for a home run. Number 7 on the year for Fernando Tatis Jr. And the Padres get on the board first, 1-0.
Tatis showing some of the power. That was the sweeper. Didn't miss much of this one on our Mattress Firm Supermo. You can see it kind of back up and stay on that inner third. I think Tatis Jr. taking that leg kick out of his swing kind of realized that he doesn't need to generate so much in that swing to create power. So just kind of took away the leg kick, got quiet, seeing the ball better.
He's been on base all 20 times this season and has now an 8-game hitting streak going with that home run. Wisniewski in his last start as Arise grounds out to second, gave up 3 runs on 3 solo home runs in his 6 innings of work.
Yeah, I like what you said about him not walking anybody with those 10 strikeouts. But yeah, the 3 earned runs were on 3 solo shots. And I think that's part of the veteran in Wisniewski that understands those solo home runs won't necessarily kill you. Just keeping those other base runners off base when those big swings do show up.
Manny Machado bounced into a fielder's choice his first time up on a sharply hit ground ball. Actually, it was hit hard off the bat, but it was a high chopper to Isaac Paredes for the fielder's choice. 0-1 here. Manny coming in with a .307 average, 2 home runs on the season. And Hayden gets ahead quickly, 0-2. Wisniewski has only pitched against West Division teams. He's pitched against the Giants and now the Padres in the NL West. Giants his first start as an Astro. And he's also pitched against the Mariners and the Angels in the AL West. Pitch missing in, 2-2. Machado fell behind, but now has moved the count to 3-2. Ryan Gusto last night in his 5 innings of work had no 3-ball counts of the 22 batters he faced.
It's pretty good.
Pretty incredible against this patient crew. There he is. Gusto made his second big league start. Got his first big league win as a starter. His other came as a reliever. 5 innings of 2-run baseball, taking down the 15-4 Padres to start last night's play. into center field. Pretty well struck, but Myers goes back on it and makes the play for out number 3. Machado's hit into some hard outs in this series. But Fernando Tatis Jr. put San Diego on the board with a home run.
The Power Play is presented by HEB. Let's take you back to the beginning of Yordan Alvarez's career. He showed up, showed out. He was 21 when he made his debut. He turned 22 shortly after. This was his first multi-home run game. It happened in his 21st game played, going on to win Rookie of the Year. We look back at that because we saw Cam Smith have his first multi-home run game last night. TK only took Cam 15 games, both pretty incredible.
Yeah, when you start getting compared to Yordan and what he did that first season,
they're doing something right.
That's a nice comp.
That is a really nice comp.
Yordan batting third in this inning. Jose Altuve goes after the first one and bounces it off the front of the Padres dugout, 0-1. Jose grounded out his first time up. This one towards the line at third, but foul. It's now 0-2. Michael King in his 5th start of the season, trying to win his 4th game of the year. Jose tried to hold up, but Mike Malinsky says he goes too far. That's strikeout number 3 for King, and one away here in the 3rd.
Well, Altuve in that at bat was in swing mode. Got credited with the swing and a strikeout on that sweeper way off the outside corner.
Here's Isaac Paredes, who singled his first time up. Takes a pitch wide, 1-0. Michael King, of pitchers who have been, since 2023, over 200 total innings as a starter, is currently 3rd lowest in the major leagues in ERA. You don't often hear his name mentioned with the Tarek Skubal and Blake Snells of the world, but those are 1-2, and then King comes in 3rd in ERA since 2023 with 200 total innings or more. Paredes found that one off his front foot. It's 1-2.
Oh, I think that got like the shin or the knee. That one hurt me.
Above the foot area. Let's take another look.
Yeah, I'm a little bit softer.
Oh,
right off the inside of the knee.
Oh, that's no good.
You got to keep that knee moving.
They may want to come out and give him a little breather here. Here comes Joe Espada.
100%.
Need a little extra time to walk that one off. Checking on Isaac Paredes after that foul ball. Eric Velasquez, assistant athletic trainer, along with Joe Espada, checking on Isaac.
You got to keep that knee moving, keep that blood flowing through that joint. If it starts to gather there, it's going to stiffen up a little bit. That's what's hard about facing pitching these days is there's so much late movement on these pitches at high velocities that you do foul them off. They have a tendency, instead of being off the foot, they'll be off a back leg, they'll be off a knee or shin.
Another long at bat for Isaac, and it counts 3-2.
Yeah, even with that knee aching a little bit, he's not changing his game plan. He is who he is.
This one's popped up foul. Machado gives it a look near his own dugout and can't quite reach in there far enough.
I think he was using Jason Hayward as a prop, trying to get to that one. He's like, man, I'm already on the injured list. Looked like Manny was going to have a shot at this. Came over, lunges maybe a foot away. Jason Hayward got a new Manny Machado backpack.
Pretty good pitch right on the inner half, and Michael King strikes out. Isaac Paredes looking. That's 4 Ks for King.
Astros 22 or younger, having multi-home run games. How about Mark Bailey sneaking on there? Beetle. Jordan Alvarez and Carlos Correa leading the way.
And Cam will have the entire season to try to add to his total since he turned 22 on the first spring training game of the year.
I like it. He's got a couple more in there.
Jordan doubled into right center field. It was his first inning hit of the season. Now he's got a 2-0 count. Jordan now with a career OPS against San Diego over 1,000 lifetime. That one's wide, 3-0, and King, who's had pretty good control, not really throwing the ball over the plate here against Jordan. An interesting sequence there with 2 outs and nobody on. Tons of respect from King to the big man. A 4-pitch walk.
Yeah, kind of hoping he'd challenge him in that 3-0 count once he got there and maybe have another pitch to work with to get him out, but he didn't want any part of him.
Now here's Jeremy Pena, who bounced into a fielder's choice his first time up. Pena did bat in that cleanup spot 29 times last year, but getting his first chance to hit in the 4th spot this season. Went after the first pitch last time. This time he takes one off the plate for a ball, 1-0. Jeremy's career high hitting streak is 10. He's done that twice in his career. Right now he's sitting at 9-game hit streak. King got in there again. This one fouled back. It's 1-1. One and two. Jeremy uses his timeout here, down on the count 1-2. King in his 9-inning complete game shutout against Colorado struck out 8 walked 1 through 110 pitches. Just 2 hits and 1 walk allowed in a 6-0 shutout for San Diego against Colorado. Missed the top of the zone. It's 2-2.
That's where you see that occasional four-seam fastball from Michael King. We've seen a couple of them elevated, trying to get to the top, not necessarily for a strike, but more for the chase, trying to set up maybe a sweeper, sinker down.
There was your sweeper down.
And that one actually stayed on the plate. It might have been below the zone, but it was actually on the plate.
That one's down. That'll be 3-2. Gives Jordan a little head start at first base with 2 outs. Jeremy sends this one to right. Long run for Tatis Jr. near the foul line. Puts it away for the final out of the inning. A walk, 1 man left on base. We're through 3 here at Daikin Park. It's 1-0 San Diego.
Time to play Name That Astro, powered by Reliant. Key player in 12-man trade. Unanimous in 1996, multi-Hall of Famer. If you know who that Astro is, hop on to X and go to @SpaceCityHN. Tell us who you think that Astro is, powered by Reliant.
We go to the 4th. San Diego with a 1-0 lead thanks to a solo home run by Fernando Tatis Jr. last inning. Here's Gavin Sheets, who came over from the White Sox. Spent 4 years in Chicago, and now his first year in San Diego. Had a big spring training, and now here he is batting 4th in the Padres lineup. Game number 21 of their season. Sheets doubled his first time up. Off to a good start in the regular season, hitting .340. That one's fouled out of play. It's 2-1. There's a strike to even it up. Caratini a little frustrated that he wasn't able to hold on to that one. It stays 2-2. Four, 5, and 6 due up for San Diego. Sheets, Oscar Gonzalez, and Jose Iglesias. Wisniewski's allowed 2 hits to this point. He's walked 1, and he has struck out 2. There's a base hit into right field, so Gavin Sheets continues to stay hot. He's 4 for 6 in this series. He's a leadoff base runner for San Diego in the 4th.
It's back-to-back at-bats where he's gotten a base hit off the sweeper.
Sheets had never faced Wisniewski before tonight. Now Oscar Gonzalez. Ground ball slowly hit to third. Paredes will go to second. They get the force there. So they get the lead runner for the first out. Gonzalez reaches on a fielder's choice.
Paredes worked moving well after fouling that ball off his left knee, able to charge in and get that lead out.
Here's Jose Iglesias. We mentioned Wisniewski has only pitched against Western Division teams in the American League and the National League so far. His next start should come on the road against Kansas City. Astros home for 4 more games after tonight. Night game tomorrow against San Diego, then 3 night games against Toronto beginning on Monday. Wisniewski's start should be in that first game of the series against Kansas City. We were anticipating the possibility of Lance McCullers Jr. also making a start in that series, potentially in Kansas City, but that's going to be delayed a little bit. Lance has a little bug stomach issue that caused him to miss his start today. He was supposed to pitch at the AA level, but that start has been pushed back. We're not sure when he's going to get another opportunity to start his final, potentially his final minor league game. There's a strike. But there is a 30-day window where you have to make a maneuver with a guy who's on the IL, so I think they have about 6 or 7 days left with that for Lance. Oh-2 pitch to Iglesias, trying to hold up. That's a 3-pitch strikeout for Wisniewski, who now has 3 on the night, second out of the inning.
Swept him away pretty quick with that one. Not wasting any time, working efficiently for that strikeout. You'll see it on our Mattress Firm Supermo, that sweeper. Pretty egregious chase.
Wisniewski in his last start, when he set his career high in strikeouts, he set it by 2 Ks. His previous high had been 8 with the Cubs. Then he struck out 10 Angels. Said he had no idea he was up to 10. Said he was on the bench and he saw Brian King get a strikeout, and they looked up at the board and they had the astronaut plant the flag and said 11. He's like, wait, if that's 11, that means I got 10.
Wow, he's really good at math too.
Yeah. So he had no idea that he had set his career high by a couple of strikeouts. He's the only Astros pitcher to this point to have a 10K game on the season.
Now, you know you've done well when you surprise yourself. It's pretty impressive. That was other than the home runs, that was a dominant performance.
5 hits, no walks, 10 punch. He's got 3 tonight with 2 outs here in the 4th. That one towards the Astros dugout. It's 1-2. Padres led by Luis Arraez, the hardest team to strike out in the National League this year. and the hardest team overall in baseball, with Toronto and the A's pretty close in the American League. 1-2 pitch, grounded the other way, and that's a nice job by Tyler Wade down in the count 1-2 to just poke one into left to have himself a base hit here with 2 outs.
Yeah, I think that's all Tyler Wade is trying to do is slap that baseball around, and he found a soft spot with the Astros infield playing him a little bit to full.
So a couple of base runners here with 2 outs, and Elias Diaz the batter. Diaz flied out to Cam Smith his first time up. Pulls off that sweeper. It's 0-1. Hayden New coming into this start after limiting the Giants to 2 hits, the Mariners to 3 hits, and the Angels to 5 hits. That this might be his biggest challenge. The Padres with the best team batting average in major leagues. So far, 4 hits allowed as we play here in the 4th. Got him. Struck out Elias Diaz to end the inning. 4 strikeouts for Wisniewski, 2 left on after a couple of hits in the 4th. Still 1-0 Padres. Complete your wardrobe tomorrow night with a pair of Jose Altuve socks for the first or for 10,000 fans, presented by Houston Methodist. Secure your tickets at astros.com/promotions. Altuve's face adorning the socks. Jose, the last time Michael King faced the Astros, famously took off that sock at Petco Park and was ejected from the game September 17th of last year.
It was kind of unique in that promo to see Altuve heading towards sock Paredes.
Okay, I see what you're doing.
It's a stretch, but it's there.
The top 2 hitters in the lineup, back to back.
Sock.
I hear you.
Sock. I'll keep going if you want me to.
Well,
You're like, stop.
You're fine. 0-1 pitch to Christian Walker is popped up to lead off the bottom of the 4th inning. Luis arrives in foul territory, puts it away for the first out. Michael King so far allowing 3 hits. Astros had their best threat in the first, second and third, and 1 out, and couldn't get a run across. And since then, he's allowed just 1 more base hit and 1 walk when he pitched around Yordan Alvarez with 2 outs and the base is empty. Here's Yainer Diaz, who grounded out his first time. Astros trying to break this spell, if you will, of alternating wins and losses, which has now reached 14 games, a new franchise record. That's never happened before since they were the Colt 45s in 1962.
That's incredible. I don't think I'd heard about a situation like this until the Astros had gone through it this season. But it's just amazing.
If the Astros lose tonight, 15-plus games alternating wins and losses hasn't happened in the major leagues in 15 years. Let's hope we don't have that stat to talk about later. That one past Tony Perez cheek, a foul. 0-2 on Yainer Diaz. Astros have their 2 catchers batting back-to-back in the lineup tonight, with Yainer Diaz getting a chance to DH. So has used Yordan Alvarez primarily as his DH 14 times. Altuve has made 4 starts in the DH role. Now Yainer gets his 2nd start. Played off that sweeper. It's 1-2. Yainer called out on strikes. King now up to 5 strikeouts, 2 away in the inning. Now, word from Buick GMC.
There are trucks, then there's the truck. The GMC Sierra.
There's Victor Caratini, who owns 1 of the 3 hits for the Astros. Victor goes after the first pitch, sends it in the air pretty deep to center field, but Connor Joe is back on it and makes the play for the final out of the inning. 1, 2, 3, 4th for Michael King. He has now gone 4 innings of 3-hit shutout baseball.
Time now to name that Astro, powered by Reliant. Key player in 12-man trade, unanimous in 1996, multi-Hall of Famer. Who is that Astro, powered by Reliant? Ken Caminiti, traded to the Padres in 1994 as a part of a 12-player deal. 1996 unanimous National League MVP and member of Astros Padres Hall of Fame, the great Ken Caminiti.
We go to the 5th inning. Astros down 1-0. Hayden Wisniewski back out to work, facing the 9-1-2 hitters. Connor Joe, who made that play in center field to end the bottom half of the 4th inning, will lead things off. Padres kind of searching for a center fielder with the absence of Jackson Merrill. Connor Joe in his career with the Pirates and a couple years in Colorado and also San Fran to start his career has never played center field before. Played 402 big league games, but none in center. Goes after that first pitch, sends that one towards right, and Cam Smith runs out of room. Hayden giving up the lone run on a solo home run by Tatis. All the runs Hayden has given up the last couple of starts have been on solo home runs. Joe, 231 games in the corner outfield spots, the rest at first base, and tonight patrols the middle of the outfield for the first time. Pitches down for a strike at the bottom of the zone, 1-2. In the air to right, sending Cam Smith back before he gets the warning track. Cam puts it away for out number 1. I'll bring up Fernando Tatis Jr. Strikeout and a home run for Tatis Jr. Home run number 7 on the season. Hayden gets that call on the corner. It's 0-1.
Yeah, that was beautifully placed. Just a little off that outside edge with plenty of deception to get the call. That was a great way to start the at-bat.
Coming into tonight, Tommy Edman and Kyle Schwarber were leading the National League with 7 home runs. Fernando hitting his 7th in the 3rd inning. And one fouled, it's 1-2. We talked about it last night. His zone control this year has been much better. 11 walks to 10 strikeouts, even with that Wisniewski strikeout his first time up. And he's still doing damage without the strikeouts being attached.
Yeah, he's plenty strong enough. Doesn't have to use that big leg kick to wind up and generate power. He's kind of eliminated that. Gotten a little bit quieter with that front foot, getting it down early.
Kind of need the top 3, 4 in their lineup to carry the load here with some of these injuries that they're waiting on. So far, it's worked out with a 15-5 record. Ground ball through the hole in the left field. Tatis Jr. has his 2nd hit of the night. He's a 1-out base runner for San Diego in the 5th.
Pull those hands in nicely on that fastball at 96. Looked like Caratini was set up outside, but it leaked back to the inside, and Tatis took advantage of it.
Now Wisniewski to face Luis Arraez. Arraez seemed like he was in take mode. Takes that one for a strike, 0-1. When you have the bat-to-ball skills of Arraez, you can afford to do that.
You can wait to get deep in counts, and it's kind of a unique spot to be in that second hole when you got a guy that runs at will at first base. So you're kind of giving him some pitches, so you don't have to panic if you're Luis Arraez with that bat control.
Tatis Jr. 6 for 6 in steals this year. He and Manny Machado have both been running on an equal basis. Manny's up to 6 himself. Padres as a team, 24 steals in 28 attempts. One of those caught stealings was last night. There he goes. Pitch is grounded to Jose Altuve. Altuve will make the toss to first for out number 2.
League leaders are presented by Houston Methodist. Told you. Active hit leaders. Freddie Freeman at 2,277. Manny Machado on that list at 1,923. And in second place, Jose Altuve, just 20 hits behind Freddie Freeman. A couple of veterans, and Andrew McCutchen and the Woodlands great Paul Goldschmidt on that list as well. Over 2,000 hits.
Altuve with 25 of those hits this year. The guy at second base came in with 25 hits as well, but he's got 2 more tonight as Tatis Jr. Altuve share a little discussion at second base. So meeting at the mound is Victor Caratini. Wanted to chat things over with Hayden Wisniewski here with 2 outs and a runner in scoring position facing Manny Machado.
A little bit of a taxing inning, a runner in scoring position, and a really good hitter at the plate. So the conversation was all to calm the heart rate and maybe kind of map out this at bat.
Down with the count 0-1 after that foul ball. Manny hit one to center field his last time up. Hardest hit baseball of the night, 105.3 off the bat. There goes Tatis for third, and nobody covering third, so Caratini just has to hold the baseball there as Tatis Jr. picks up his 7th steal of the year.
Yeah, it looked like Caratini would have had him, but there has to be a conversation between your third baseman and catcher, because typically in these situations with a power hitting right-handed hitter, the conversation will be like, look, we're not worried about the base runner. We're going to get that hitter with 2 outs, so I'm not going to cover. But I'm not sure that conversation was had.
Machado misses the 1-1 pitch, and now Wisniewski has the crowd making some noise here with a 2-strike, 2-out count to Manny Machado. Manny had been 3 for 5 with a home run against Wisniewski before tonight. He's gotten him to hit into a fielder's choice and also lined out to deep center. That ball hit well to right. Back goes Cam Smith. He's near the wall, and he will watch it go off the wall for an RBI base hit. Into second base, Machado with an RBI double. And it's 2-0 San Diego.
A good piece of hitting from Manny Machado. I think this fastball caught more of the plate than Wisniewski wanted to. He wanted to sneak that heater on the outside corner, but it stayed up out over the plate. Some of that good lag allowed Machado to shoot that ball over Cam Smith's head off that right center field wall.
Machado's had good swings all night against Wisniewski. His first hit of the evening is his 9th double of the year. Nobody warming in the Astros pen, but Josh Miller will go out to maybe give that pen a little chance to get loose. As Wisniewski currently at 81 pitches, trying to get through the 5th inning. Now word from Dairy Queen.
Carolina Reaper tacos have returned to DQ. It's where fire meets flavor.
Wisniewski's gone at least 5 innings in all 3 of his starts, 5, 6, and 7 innings this year. As you see the bullpen usage with that off day Thursday. 4 arms were used last night to preserve a 6-4 win. New guy. Forrest Whitley joining the team today. Whitley's obviously a guy that can give them multiple innings. Nick Hernandez, we didn't see Nick get in a game in the 3 days he was active. Well, the bullpen's in pretty good shape, but Wisniewski would try to get through this inning if he can get Gavin Sheets for the first time. Sheets with a double and a single. That one down, blocked by Caratini. It's 1-0.
It's only the 5th changeup thrown in this game from Wisniewski. He's been heavy on the four-seam fastball and the sweeper.
He dropped in a curve for a strike, 0-2.
It's a good pitch early in the count, just to kind of keep a hitter off balance. It doesn't seem like a pitcher anticipating going out there and attacking, but if you can get a strike with it, why not flip it in there? Nice. Nice little fading changeup at the bottom that Sheets gave up on. Fortunately, the home plate umpire did not.
Pretty good framing job by Caratini there. It's 1-2 to Sheets. Taylor Scott is the first reliever warming up in the Astros bullpen tonight. Into center, Jake Myers will go back on it and make the play for the final out of the inning. Couple of hits in the inning. Tatis Jr. scoring on the Manny Machado double. It's 2-0 San Diego.
Here is a look at who's been getting it done, presented by Home Depot. Jake Myers, how is Jake contributing to the Astros offense? It's really good this year. We're looking year by year at weighted runs created plus. This is runs created at a just for ballpark in the era. 100 is average. He is way up here in 2025 with what he's doing at the plate. He's been great. That big night you guys were talking about earlier, the 3-for-4, the double, the extra bases, the stolen bases, so much he's doing right, TK.
Yeah, he's playing the whole game. Normally a defensive specialist, but he has really contributed this year on the offensive end, coming in batting .308, tied for the American League lead with 7 steals. He's might get his career high in steals by middle of May. Hits that ball sharply, but hits in some bad luck. It's right at the second baseman, Tyler Wade, who makes the play on Jake for out number 1.
Hit that ball hard, though. You just want to stay right there and consistent. He's been up the middle the other way, putting up those numbers.
That's 5 in a row sent down by King now. The Astros don't have a hit since the 1-out double by Victor Caratini in the second. Here's Cam Smith, who struck out his first time up. Cam takes a fastball up and in, 1-0. 13 consecutive shutout innings for Michael King, coming off his complete game shutout against the Rockies. There's a strike, 1-1. King has a mutual option after this year with San Diego, but it's for just $15 million for next year. You've got to think that will probably be something he will reject and test the market. That one goes Cam's way. He hasn't had many calls go his way in his young career. It's 2-1.
Yeah, most rookies don't. I love how you just scoffed at a mere $15 million.
I know, right?
But you're right. He could garner much more than that in the free agent market, most likely, if he finishes off a solid season as a starter.
Came over from the Yankees in the Juan Soto trade. That was in the offseason heading into the 2024 year with Kyle Higashioka, Randy Vasquez, Johnny Brito, Drew Thorpe, and Michael King all coming from San Diego, or from New York to San Diego. 3-2 the count to Cam. Good at bat here. Foul tip caught by Elias Diaz. That's out number 2 and strikeout number 6 here in the 5th.
Still a pretty good at bat. I know he struck out, but he saw plenty of pitches, laid off some tough sweepers off the outside corner before striking out on the changeup. But that's kind of what you want to see from Cam, who's facing these pitchers for the first time, seeing them that second time and what kind of adjustments they make.
Altuve scribs one off the end of the bat for strike 1. Reason the Padres came into this series with the best record in all of baseball is their pitching has been lights out. Astros able to put up 6 runs last night facing their number 5 starter Kyle Hart. Also scored a run against Matsui. This ball is going to be caught, but that hit in foul territory. And the Padres made the play anyhow. Altuve knew the ground rules, so he wasn't panicked when that ball was caught by Luis Ariz off the girder in foul territory. Jose now explaining the ground rules to Elias Diaz. When it hits in foul territory, Elias, it's a dead ball.
Yep. It's like I've hit that one. I've hit that one. Have you hit that one? It's not that hard. You just barrel it up and hit it straight in the sky.
Ariz stayed with it and made the catch on the fly, but it all went for naught. Now it's 1-2. Bullpen still going for the Astros. Taylor Scott still warming, so Hayden Wisniewski's night might be over after 5. Down goes Altuve on strikes. That's 7 for Michael King, who continues to roll along. 5 more shutout innings tonight. It's 2-0 San Diego. Join the Astros for Barbie Game Day on Tuesday, April 22nd. Fans can enjoy Barbie-themed activations located around the ballpark and get a Barbie Game Day Sherpa Bag add-on package. Learn more at astros.com/Barbie. Astros head to the 6th inning, down 2-0. Same line for the starting pitchers each night. 5 innings of 2-run baseball from Gusto and Wisniewski. And now the bullpen takes over in the 6th.
First man out of that bullpen is going to be Taylor Scott. Numbers on the season through 7 games is 6.75 ERA. That whip at 2.44, but last time out in St. Louis on the 16th, gave the Astros a clean inning. Did allow a walk, but nothing else in 13 pitches.
5, 6, and 7 due up facing Taylor Scott here. Last night, Ryan Gusto's 5 innings of 2-run baseball were good enough for a win. Tonight, Hayden Wisniewski hoping his 5 innings of 2-run baseball will end in a no decision. The only decision he can pick up would be a loss here, trailing 2-0.
Yeah, unfortunately, a little bit different pitching matchup. The Astros took advantage of Kyle Hart last night.
And matching up against the opening day starter, Michael King, who has been outstanding now in 4 consecutive starts. 1-2 the count to Gonzalez. Mike Schilt has watched his team pitch 21 games before tonight, or 20 games before tonight, only allowing 57 runs. Nobody has allowed fewer runs in baseball than the Padres. The Mets also have allowed 57. They played one more game with their shutout today against St. Louis. 1-2 the count to Gonzalez. That one's up 2-2. Gonzalez, Jose Iglesias, Tyler Wade. First 3 due up for the Padres here in the 6th inning. Roll on the ground to third. Paredes with the quick pickup and throw across. And there's one away. Isak has pretty much lived up to the scouting report that I got from my buddies in Tampa Bay, that he makes every play he can get to for the most part.
He's done a great job. He's been a pleasant surprise over there.
They liked him at third a little bit more than second. There was a question earlier in the year whether he was going to be at second or third based on who was going to come over in the offseason, maybe even first. But he has looked great at third. There's a strike to Jose Iglesias, 0-1.
He's done a very good job. It's kind of a calm glove hand that I kind of like. He's not really stabbing at a lot of ground balls. Does a good job reading hops.
Yeah, that's an interesting term, calm glove hand. I like that.
Well, it's soft hands, calm hands, but he's a big dude, but he's still got some good feet that puts him in position to have those calm hands. He's not real rigid with it. He doesn't stab. Kind of lets the ball go into the glove instead of trying to go catch it, and I kind of like that.
And if you're an infielder and you wear an Astros uniform, there is never a lack of work to be done pregame with Tony Perez-Chica around. If you want the extra work, Perez-Chica is ready to give it to you.
Yes. And he's almost expecting it of these guys, too, because it's an everyday thing, too. He may get a little grace on a day game, but if there's a night game, Perez-Chica is going to be out there with a couple of towels and a fungo.
And Christian Walker, who came over from Arizona, credits Tony Perez-Chica with his improvement on the defensive side to the point where he's now a 3-time Gold Glove winner. 2-2 the count to Iglesias, 0 for 2 tonight. Taylor couldn't get that slider to catch the inside corner. Now the count's full. Called third strike. Pretty close take for Iglesias. He wanted to walk, but instead he's called out for out number 2.
Yeah, credit Taylor for locating this one well. Maybe about 3 or 4 seams catching that up and away portion of the MD Anderson strike zone. Iglesias couldn't believe it.
It's a pretty close take with 2 strikes. Looks like it had some of the plate. Now Tyler Wade. Tries to bunt his way on and bunts it right to Christian Walker. You don't need a Gold Glove to make that play. He steps on the bag for out number 3. Good inning for Taylor Scott. Astros come to bat down 2-0 in the 6th. Let's dive into Papa John's key ingredients, breaking down Jeremy Pena's improvement here in 2025. The hard hit percentage is way up over the last 3 years. His strike percentage has also moved down consistently. Average exit velocities up 2.5 miles an hour. He has been hitting the ball consistently harder and had a better zone control than we've seen at any point in his career.
Yeah, that was really a lot of the emphasis in spring training for Jeremy Pena. Open up that stance a little bit, get both eyes on the pitcher, slow down the head movement, have his bat kind of that flat position where you can enter the zone a little bit quicker and stay through the baseball. And it paid off in spring, and we've seen him hit the ball hard this season. Hopefully soon he'll start paying off a little bit and start seeing some hits go up on that stat category.
Yeah, you look at the 214 batting average and you're thinking, well, why are you guys singing the praises of Jeremy Pena? But he has hit in some really tough luck this year.
Extremely.
His expected batting average over 100 points higher than where it is. 1-1 the count to Isaac Paredes. Astros have gotten a few calls their way. They'll take that one. It's 2-1. Michael King has been living on the edges tonight. He has been a tough customer. He has not allowed a hit since a Victor Caratini one-out double in the 2nd. And really, the only base runner he's allowed since batter number 7 in the game was a walk to Yordan Alvarez that he seemed like he was fine with.
Yeah, even with nobody on, he didn't want to give up the solo home run or let him get on base other than pitching around him.
At that point, it was a 1-0 game. So he has retired 11 of the last 12, with that little pitch around being the only blemish. Isaac, as per normal, seeing a lot of pitches here. He's got his 2nd consecutive full count. Last time he was called out on strikes. This one's going to be out of play. Giving it a look is a rise, but that'll be about 10 rows deep. The Saturday night crowd trying to get something going. They haven't had a lot to cheer about.
Trying to get Michael King that 3rd time through the order.
King faced just 2 over the minimum last time in his shutout. There's a start to the inning. Great plate appearance by Paredes, drawing his 11th walk of the year.
Tough pitch down and in, and we know how much he likes to pull the baseball. and opted to let that one go by, and he gets on first. Tried that four-seamer at the bottom of the zone. Diaz tried to frame it up, didn't get the call.
Now you're forced to come in and pitch to Yordan Alvarez, who has doubled over the wall in right center field and also drawn a 4-pitch walk. Starts him off with a changeup that catches the inside corner, 0-1.
He pulled that changeup. If it was out over the plate, it would have probably been a different story for big lefty.
Yordan 2 for 6 in his career against King with 3 walks. Astros have the leadoff runner on for the first time in the game. That one skied way up in the air. Yordan hit it hard, but he golfed one into right center. It comes down in the glove of Fernando Tatis Jr. for out number 1.
That was that changeup. Yordan did put a good swing on it. It jumped off the bat, but you're right, just that launch angle way too high. Kind of scooped it.
You see the improvement for JP3 over the last 3 seasons. Tonight looking for his first hit, trying to continue a 9-game hitting streak. He is grounded into a fielder's choice and flied out to right. Astros have had their best threat against King in the very first inning. Second and third, 1 out. And you felt like you needed to try and get a run across if possible that inning, because he has been able to lock it down since. The check on a pitch away, and it's 1-1 on Jeremy. Jeremy just 1 for 8 in his career, facing this tough right-hander from San Diego. It's a pitch he went after in his last at bat. Good take here. It's 2-1. Jeremy moving up to the 4 spot. Joe Espada switching Pena and Walker in the lineup tonight. That's fouled back to the screen, 2-2. San Diego's bullpen starting to move for the first time. Their bullpen has the best ERA in all of baseball. Doesn't get any easier when you go from King to the bullpen. But King has been so good tonight, you almost rather see anybody else.
Yeah, sometimes just a change of delivery out there can help you out a little bit, but the Padres relievers come into this game with a 1.58 ERA, leading all of baseball.
Jeremiah Estrada warming up in the Padres pen. Got in on Pena as he pops it up on the infield. It'll be underhand caught by Elias Diaz. It looked like King was calling for it, and Diaz took charge for the second out.
Suit up this season at MLBshop.com. Check out the largest selection of authentic jerseys, caps, hoodies, t-shirts, and more. Visit MLBshop.com, the official source for your Houston Astros gear.
Well, Christian Walker getting used to a new spot in the lineup. So far 0 for 2 tonight, a strikeout and a pop-up. Takes one wide, 1-0.
Be a heck of a time for Christian Walker to find one and put a charge into it.
There you go, line drive to left, and we're tied at 2.
Ask and you shall receive.
Line drive, bullet to the Crawford boxes, ties it up against King here in the 6th.
finally get a mistake from Michael King, and Christian Walker hammers it on a line to tie it up.
Has not hit in the 5 spots since 2021. Joe puts him down there, and it pays off with a 2-run shot.
And I love seeing the boys come out of the dugout and say, congratulations to Christian Walker. They're in that fight with him together. They know he's going to contribute, and he contributed tonight.
That is going to be the last batter for Michael King. Coming off a complete game shutout his last time out. Looked like he was heading to 6 shutout innings tonight, but Christian Walker had other ideas. Pitching change here in a 2-2 game.
Back here at Dyken Park, bottom of the 6th, 2 outs, and 2-out lightning off the bat of Christian Walker ties it up at 2 apiece, and the Padres go to their bullpen. You're going to see Jeremiah Estrada make an appearance in his 11th game. His ERA is beautiful. We talked about how great this bullpen is, and Estrada contributing 10 in the 3rd innings pitched, 14 strikeouts.
Yainer Diaz, the first batter to face Estrada, and he goes out to the first pitch and grounds 1 to second. That'll be the end of the inning, but damage done by Christian Walker, who ties the game up against Michael King.
Big swing from Christian Walker. Been looking to contribute, got a hanger out over the plate, and smashed a laser into the Crawford boxes.
Time to reveal the winner of tonight's Chevy Stroh Poll. We asked you 4 different pitchers with their breaking stuff. Who's got the most dominant breaking pitch on the Astros? And Framber Valdez wins with a curveball at 53%. Josh Hader's slider garners 35% of the vote. Hayden Wisniewski also pulls in 10% of the vote. Thanks to everybody who chimed in on tonight's Stroh Poll. New game here as we head to the 7th. Taylor Scott back in there, and he'll get a tapper right back towards the mound and make the play on Elias Diaz for the first out of the inning. So 1 out here in the 7th inning, and Connor Joe will be lifted for a pinch hitter.
Debut.
Major league debut for Tirso Ornelas, who just got here before the game, or right around game time.
They somehow made it. We weren't sure he was going to be here.
But here he is making his big league debut in a 2-2 game in the 7th inning as a pinch hitter. Now a message from Reliant.
Reliant, official energy provider of the Houston Astros.
So Tirso Ornelas makes his big league debut here. And the first pitch he sees in the big leagues is off the plate for ball 1.
I believe he's the 28th Mexican-born Padre to make an appearance in the big leagues.
Most of any team in the major leagues. Activated today when Jason Hayward was put on the IL. Ornelas had a little bit of an issue getting here in time for the game. He might have been in the starting lineup had he arrived earlier. This ball into shallow left, coming on Yordan Alvarez, who makes the running catch. Ornelas' career starts with a fly out to left for out number 2 here in the 7th. So far, so good for Taylor Scott. 5 up, 5 down. Now he has to face the top of the order and Fernando Tatis Jr. We mentioned the best case scenario for Hayden Wisniewski would be to get off the hook with an ND, a no decision. That's exactly what happened thanks to Christian Walker. Perfect pitch, outside corner at the knees, 0-1. Brian King is warming in the Astros pen. Lefty hitting Luis Arraez on deck. This could very well be Scott's last hitter, and he's ahead 0-2 on Tatis.
Pretty good splitter. Back to back to get ahead 0-2. Bottom just falls out of this one as Tatis goes after it.
There's King, who pitched in last night's game. Try to hold up on a pitch down. He does. It's 1-2. Home run by Christian Walker has to feel so good for so many reasons. Contributing a 2-out, 2-run home run in the 6th inning. This ball to short. Jeremy Pena's there. Best outing of the year for Taylor Scott. He goes through 6 hitters and retires all 6 Padres he faces at innings 6 and 7. Time now for the 7th inning stretch presented by Texas Mattress Makers.
It's time for the Miller Lite moment, and Christian Walker is the man on the spot. 2 outs, 1 runner on, and a 1-0 count. Got a sweeper that stayed right down the middle, and he absolutely barreled it up. 107.5 off the bat. We got the stats to prove it to you. 21-degree launch angle and an absolute BB into that Crawford box. 372-foot line drive, only an apex of 50 feet. Couldn't have timed it any better to tie this ball game up for the Astros as they look to try and take the lead here in the bottom of the 7th.
You had a feeling. That was pretty impressive.
I pick my spots.
I like it. So new ball game here as the Astros bat tied up in the bottom of the 7th. Victor Caratini, Jake Myers, and Cam Smith due up. Facing Jeremiah Estrada, who got 1 out with 1 pitch to end the 6th inning. This guy could be called Iron Mike because nobody comes over the top in baseball more than Jeremiah Estrada. 65-degree arm angle. He is straight over the top.
I was impressed. That's even higher than Hunter Brown. Hunter Brown is always one of those guys they always say that has one of those higher release points, and this one even better. It's 65 degrees.
What the Padres have is a lot of different angles of degree from their bullpen, which makes them, you're not seeing the same guy twice. Here is that over the top delivery.
Yeah, that is just a traditional arm circle. You could see him reach way up top, almost leaning back to create that angle.
Well, Caratini with a 3-1 count. And that's upstairs, ball 4. Astros have their 2nd straight leadoff runner on after not having any leadoff base runners in the first 5 innings. Both have been leadoff walks. The leadoff walk to Paredes came around to bite Michael King. He had to face Trisha Walker with 2 outs, and he tied the game. Now it's Jake Myers. Jake's flied out to center and hit the ball sharply on a ground out to second. Off the plate wide, 1-0.
Velocity's in there for Estrada as well. He averages 97.5 miles an hour.
Jake's ground out his last time up with the hardest hit baseball for either side tonight. Eclipsing the Christian Walker home run by 0.4 miles an hour. 107.9 from Myers, 107.5 on the home run. Mike Shildt usually feels pretty good about his chances with this bullpen and the way they've been all year long. You can see their MLB leading ERA of 1.58. Also first in opponent's batting average. They tried to hold up down to the count 1-2. Into right field, Tatis Jr. is there. He makes the throw to first, but Caratini able to get back. Still a pretty good swing with 2 strikes for Jake, 1 away.
No, he hit that ball hard too. He did a good job of staying on it. It was a slider, so he kind of benefited from it being elevated.
I showed you before the game, the Astros have been the best in baseball the last 11 games from their 8 and 9 spot in the lineup. Myers has hit the ball hard tonight with nothing to show for it. Cam Smith, a couple of strikeouts, bats here with the go-ahead run at first base. And he takes a 90-mile-an-hour slider for a strike, 0-1. 0-2 the count to Cam, coming off a 2-home run game last night. Broke his bat, but that's going to work. An 0-2 base hit. Over to second goes Caratini, and Cam Smith has his first hit of the night. First and second for the Astros.
There's a fastball elevated at 99 miles an hour. Estrada's gotten 9 strikeouts with that fastball, but Cam had to climb up there a little bit to get to it. Got in on the hands, but still, young man strong enough to force that into right field. Keep this inning going.
Since September 1 of last year, no reliever in the National League has had a lower batting average against than Jeremiah Estrada, 0.59. So a nice job by Cam facing him for the first time. Now a word from Taqueria Cervantes.
As you know, my favorite food is a Taqueria Arandas. Sabroso, sabrosito.
A little discussion at the mound between Ruben Niebla and his reliever, Jeremiah Estrada, as Jose Altuve strides to the plate. First and second in a 2-2 game, 1 out in the 7th. Altuve has never faced Estrada before. Jose looking for his first hit tonight, 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts. Into center field. New center fielder is Tirso Ornelas, who makes his first play in the major leagues as he retires Altuve on that fly ball out number 2. Ornelas pinch hit for Connor Joe and stayed in the game. Now it's Isaac Paredes. Isaac a single, a strikeout, and a walk. He scored on the 2-run home run by Christian Walker. He has as good a numbers as anybody on the team with runners in scoring position. Fastball missing up, 1-0. Slider on the edge, 1-2. Isaac tied for the team lead with 10 runs batted in. Tied with Yordan Alvarez and Cam Smith for the most RBIs this season. 6 of the 10 have come with 2 outs and runners in scoring position. Two and two. Caratini, who drew a walk to start the innings, on second base. Cam Smith with a single into right center is on first. It's nice to have Paredes on this side because he could be frustrating on pitchers, spoiling. That's a tough pitch he just fouled off.
Yeah, that's a split that he saw. And was able to just kind of poke it away to extend the at-bat. You're right, it is frustrating.
Lives to fight another day with a 2-2 count.
You got it?
Just to the left of us up here at the broadcast level.
Just to give you an idea, though, I mean, Estrada's just mixing it up. He's trying to find something to get Paredes to swing and miss or get himself out, because he's only thrown 8 splits to left-handed hitters, 2 of them in this at bat, or to right-handed hitters, 2 of them in this at bat to Paredes.
How about that?
Yeah.
Upstairs, 3-2, so the runners will be off. That means any base hit to the outfield will score the go-ahead run.
And it's got to be a pretty good pitch with that guy looming on deck. Got a real opportunity if you're Isaac Paredes right here.
Into shallow center, got a chance.
Heavy.
That's going to fall in for a hit. 1 run scores, being held up at third is Cam Smith, and the Astros take a 3-2 lead.
Great at bat by Isaac Paredes. And not a lot of exit velocity leading to that run in this inning to put the Astros ahead. That walk, that leadoff walk, coming around to score against the Padres.
Cam Smith was flying to third. He gave Tony Perez-Chica something to think about. When Tyler Wade couldn't handle that little flare, this will be a good look at it on the ball that just drops in.
Cam was floating.
That guy can run. How about Isak? What an at bat.
Just exploding with elation. That's a professional at bat. That is a big league professional at bat put together.
Against one of the toughest relievers in baseball. Who is, as you said, he's throwing everything at him. He's trying splitters.
To find a way.
And Isak just kept fouling off pitches and then found a 3-2 pitch. Didn't hit it hard, but hit it well enough.
Find some open space. Another 2-out RBI for the Astros. All 3 of their runs coming in this game with 2 outs.
Now Jordan can really help separate things if he can find a pitch here. First and third, 2 outs. Jordan has never faced Estrada before.
Leveling hat. Jordan trying to expand the lead with 1 swing.
Jordan a double, a walk, and a fly out to right tonight. Big crowd on hand for the 2nd straight night with the Astros and Padres going head-to-head, 39,287. Didn't have much to cheer about until the Christian Walker 2-run home run in the 6th. Now the Astros have their first lead of the night. 98 for a strike. Ball hook foul.
Jumpy on that split.
Estrada had to get the last out of the 6th inning. And he is approaching 30 pitches, which is usually the danger zone for relievers. Little looper to left. Actually, it's going to go back towards Gonzalez, who makes the catch rather easily for the final out of the inning. But a big 2-out base hit by Isaac Paredes. And the Astros have their first lead tonight. It's 3-2. Houston Astros baseball on Space City Home Network is presented by Rooms to Go. Don't miss the store-wide mattress sale going on now. It's time to improve the way you sleep. And by Steel. Find your Steel dealer at steeldealers.com.
New pitcher into this ball game with that run, putting the Astros ahead. We'll go to that back into that bullpen. Setup man Brian Abreu comes in to make his 10th appearance. 3.12 is the ERA. And we did see him last night pick up his 6th hold of the season, went an inning and struck out 2 Padres while throwing 15 pitches to get it done.
2 huge innings out of Taylor Scott in the 6th and the 7th. That is a Taylor Scott we saw in 2024.
Yeah, that'll be a nice little confidence boost, won't it?
Absolutely, against one of the better hitting teams in baseball. Taylor with 2 clean innings. And now Abreu facing the 2, 3, and 4 hitters in the lineup. Luis Arraez, Manny Machado, and Gavin Sheets trying to protect a 1-run lead. Arraez will walk his first time up and a couple of ground outs to Jose Altuve. Off the plate, 3-1. The walk Arraez drew in the first inning was the only walk issued by Wisniewski and the only walk for Astros pitching in 7 innings. That'll be walk number 2. Abreu coming off that run in the bottom of the 7th inning walks the leadoff runner here, Luis Arraez. I'll bring up Manny Machado. There's now 7 walks on the year for Brian and 8 2/3. Machado doubled homer run his last time up, hit one to the wall in right field, didn't miss a home run by much. There is a strike. No swing, says Gabe Morales. It's 1-1.
It's a pretty filthy slider. May have just caught an edge.
First time Abreu has faced Manny Machado, who pops one way up in the air, playable near first base. Christian Walker waits for it to come down. That's out number 1.
See the games you want with the flexibility you deserve with Astros Flex Plans. It's Astros baseball on your terms. Plus, enjoy pre-sale access, ticket exchanges, and more. Build your Flex plan today at astros.com/flex.
Gavin Sheets will bat. He's been a tough out in this series. 2 for 3 tonight. Only time the Astros retired him was a line out to center field. Looks at a fastball for a strike, 0-1. Sheets in his 4 years with the White Sox faced Brian Abreu 6 times. Abreu's had the better of it, 0 for 6 with 3 strikeouts. Slider has been a big weapon against him as he fouls the slider off here. It's 0-2. Last 2 at bats for Sheets against Abreu. He has seen 9 pitches, 8 of them have been sliders.
We've seen in this series Gavin Sheets hit the sweeper and sliders pretty good down and in, so I like the fact that he was able to get that one below the zone.
Strike 3 called inside corner. Beautiful pitch dotted up by Abreu for out number 2.
Slowed him down with the slider and then brought 98 on that inner edge. Just locked him up.
It looked like Victor wanted it outside, still worked out.
Yeah, we ain't complaining.
No, here's Oscar Gonzalez. Gonzalez has grounded out 3 times, once into a fielder's choice. Slider away, 1-0. Last night in the Astros 6-4 victory, they led 5-4 when Abreu pitched the 8th. He had the 5, 6, 7, and 8 hitters. And then Hader got the 9, 1, and 2 hitters in order. Tonight, Abreu's had to go right through the meat of the order here, 2, 3, 4, and now Oscar Gonzalez, number 5, trying to tee it up for Hader in the 9th. Gonzalez taps it foul, and it's 1-2. Imagine this crowd might see some people get on their feet. Pretty big spot here in a 3-2 game in the 8th.
You can feel it building in the building. One more good slider. He's got options. Still has 98 in the tank waiting.
Little tapper to the right side. Altuve a long way to go. He'll flip it to first in time to get Gonzalez. Jose hasn't played a lot of second base this year, but he has his whole career and made that play look easier than it was. Big 8th inning for Abreu with Astros lead 3-2.
Let's check out the T-Mobile coverage cam. Tie game in the 7th. Isaac Paredes trying to change that. Paredes hanging in this battle here. Estrada had him 1-2. We're going to see Paredes start fouling off some splitters here. And then eventually, he's going to win this battle. He gets one to drop in for the go-ahead RBI single. That's where we stand right now. Good to see that from Isaac Paredes, guys.
Julie, that was one of the best battles all year. That was a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, considering the moment, it was outstanding. And considering the opponent, too. We talked about how good Jeremiah Estrada was. But Isaac winning that battle and putting the Astros ahead, they look to tack on. They're going to have to do it against Adrian Morejon. 9 1/3. Guess what? His ERA and WHIP are sub-1. 7 strikeouts in 9 1/3 innings pitched. 3 walks.
So the lefty delivers to Jeremy Pena, who fouls one back to the screen. Jeremy might have his last shot here to extend his hitting streak. He's got a 9-gamer on the line. Nobody else for the Astros has had more than a 6-game streak this year. Pena has bounced into a fielder's choice, flied out to right and popped up to the catcher, Elias Diaz. It'll be Jeremy Pena, Christian Walker, and Yainer Diaz here in the bottom of the 8th. Christian Walker coming off his best and most important swing as an Astro so far. There's a strike, 0-2.
Some life in that left arm. Morejon averaging 97. That last pitch at 96.
He averages 97 on the sinker. Also has a 93, 94 mile an hour cutter. 1-2 on JP. Up the middle, but the second baseman is there. Tyler Wade double pumps and he can't make the play. Pena always puts pressure on the infielders, and a little double pump hurt Tyler Wade there. That'll be a leadoff base runner for the third straight inning for the Astros.
It's a tough play for the second baseman moving to his right. And then you add the speed of Jeremy Pena, but with that ball being caught in the webbing, you could see it kind of rattle around in the glove. It made it tough for Tyler Wade to find it. Shot putting it over to first base, and the Rise couldn't make the pick. Now you got to deal with the speed of Jeremy Pena at first base as well.
We're going to give Pena an infield hit on that, so there is a 10-game hitting streak matching his career high. Here's Christian Walker. Walker sends this one to right, slicing away from Tatis Jr. into the crowd. What a swing it was last time up for Walker. His biggest moment as an Astro.
Yeah, hanging sweeper, and he did not miss it.
Two-run home run to tie the game with 2 outs in the 6th inning and snap 15 consecutive scoreless innings from Michael King in his last 2 starts. That one's got a top of the zone strike at 98, 0-2. Speed kills. Jeremy led all of baseball in infield hits last year. Walker sends this one to center field. Playable for Ornelas. Tirso puts it away for out number 1. Get Out of Play is driven by Toyota. We told you there have been a lot of wild games here the last 2 years with the Astros and the Padres. This one was the wildest. September 17th of last year. A game started by Michael King. Jose Altuve showing Brendan Miller. That ball went off my foot. He was ejected out of the game. Kyle Tucker would give the Astros a lead. And then the guy playing for Altuve would make the defensive play of the game as Gray Kessinger would retire Jurickson Profar on that ball up the middle. Kessinger just into the game made a great defensive play to preserve that 4-3 victory.
He took off his shoes and socks. That was incredible.
That's why we have this sock giveaway tomorrow.
Oh, it's so good.
Altuve tried to give away his sock that night. This is trouble for the Astros because Yainer has to beat out a double play ball, but that was a wide throw at second. So they only get the 1 out. Yainer will reach on the fielder's choice. That was a wild game. We did the post-game show in our sunglasses, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, we had to.
Because it was after dark.
After dark, and our eyes were burning from watching some of the events of that game.
There was a lot of stuff going on that night. Here's Victor Caratini. He subtly had one of the bigger plays of the game when he drew that walk against Estrada last inning, and he would come around to score. But right now is a deciding run. Josh Hader has been warming the Astros bullpen. He's getting ready for the 6, 7, and 8 hitters for the Padres in the 9th inning.
There could be a Yuli sighting in that inning.
Yeah. With Ornelas only having 1 major league at bat.
Tough left on left.
Or possibly, yeah.
Tyler Wade.
For Tyler Wade, yeah. Tyler Wade would be a candidate as well. The 40-year-old Yuli Gurriel on the bench for the Padres. Also, Xander Bogaerts is on the bench. Well, you might see both of them if Hader has to face 4 batters in the inning. First things first, the Astros trying to tack on a run. They did so for Hader in yesterday's game, giving him a 2-run cushion. That happened when Jake Myers singled with 2 outs, and Jeremy Pena scored from first on a single. Not sure if we can replicate that tonight with Yainer on first and 2 outs.
Yeah, that would be different.
That would be amazing. That one's up 1-2. Yainer runs fine for a catcher, but not many run as well as Jeremy Pena. Only Bobby Witt Jr. and Byron Buxton in the American League have a better sprint speed than JP. That one's up. Caratini not leaving the zone after getting down 0-2. Victor hasn't had a lot of chances to bat right-handed this year. It's only his second AB as a right-hand hitter. He's 1 for 1 so far. And he pops this one up. Back goes Arise. Over comes Wade. It's Arise making the call, and I'll put it away for the final out of the inning. 1 hit, 1 left on. We head to the 9th. Josh Hader trying to get the final 3 outs against his former team for the 2nd straight night.
The Best in Texas power pitcher is driven by Ford, and Josh Hader, the closer of the Houston Astros, is off to an excellent start this season. He is 5 for 5 in save situations, pitched in 10 innings, and has a total of 13 strikeouts, and he's doing a good job of keeping the ball and hitters off the base paths. Showing better command of that fastball, showing a much better slider this season. And something he didn't do while he was in San Diego is pitching back-to-back nights, and that's what he's doing here for the Astros, going for that 6th save tonight after picking up number 5 yesterday, and those are the rest of the numbers in 8 games this year for Josh Hader.
Hader needed only 10 pitches last night to get the Padres in order. Connor Joe, Fernando Tatis Jr., and Luis Arise last night. Tonight it'll be Iglesias leading off, and then Xander Bogaerts is going to pinch hit for Tyler Wade, and then Elias Diaz is due up third. Hader gets ahead quickly on Iglesias, 0-2. Iglesias a ground out and a couple of strikeouts tonight, last time looking. Little slicer down the right field line, and that's going to be a fair ball. Cam Smith plays it off the wall. Iglesias into second base with a leadoff double. Just a slicing looper down the right field line. And the Padres in business here in the 9th.
That will be the first extra base hit that Hader gives up. Came off the bat at 70.4 miles an hour. Just a defensive swing that ended up staying just barely fair down that right field line.
Now Xander Bogaerts will pinch hit for Tyler Wade. Bogaerts getting the night off after playing last night. He's been in every game for the Padres this year. You can see what he's done. Not many opportunities in his career to pinch hit. He's normally in the everyday lineup. Last night he went 1 for 4 with a double and a run scored. He's only faced Hader once. That was in that crazy game that we showed you from last year when Altuve took the sock off. He faced him in the bottom of the 9th inning and struck out on 3 sliders. Sees a fastball to start this at bat, and it misses in 1-0. Astros clinging to a 3-2 lead here in the 9th. Another fastball missing in 2-0. Not as quiet as we've heard the 39-287 all night. There's a slider for swinging strike, 2-1.
2-0 slider. Good one, too. He's able to keep this one down in the zone.
That's out of play. Fouls off the fastball. Now it's 2-2. Last time they matched up, all those sliders were at the knees or below the knees. Hader striking out Bogaerts. Could use a big out here. With a fastball that Bogaerts fouls back at 97.
Tough team to strike out. They make a lot of contact. They'll swing in zone, out of zone. You also want to get that first out of the inning and leave the base runner at second base. You don't want to have Xander Bogaerts have a productive out and move the runner up 90 feet. So that's where the elevated fastball may be trying to set up a slider down.
Fastball in, the count's full.
They've really been trying to bust that fastball in on Xander.
Big pitch here. Fly ball to left. Yordan Alvarez near the wall, puts it away. Runner will stay at second. Yordan makes the running catch on the warning track for out number 1.
Joe Espada opting to leave Yordan in this game late. And Yordan comes through making a nice running play to his right up against the manual scoreboard. That was pretty well done.
Now Elias Diaz bats. Diaz has faced Josh Hader a bunch in his career. 19 career at bats. Nobody on the Padres has more than 5. And it's been advantage Hader. Diaz is 1 for 19 with a double in his career against Josh with 6 strikeouts. Yuli Gurriel has grabbed the bat. He's in the on-deck circle. This ball looped. Tough play for Walker. Can he get there? Yes, he can. The Gold Glover having himself a night, makes the over-the-shoulder catch for out number 2.
Huge swing and huge play in this game for Christian Walker, contributing on both sides. That was his and his alone. Cam Smith and Altuve had no chance of getting anywhere near this ball, and he had to go over the shoulder to make this play. Big second out on that play.
So now with Yuli Gurriel announced as the pinch hitter, here comes Josh Miller to have a word with Josh Hader. The Rockets are in the playoffs, and we'll have the first round for you starting tomorrow night. Game 1 when the Rockets take on the Golden State Warriors. Our coverage starts at 7:30 with a special hour-long pregame show only on Space City Home Network. Good luck to the Rockets tomorrow and through that series. So here's Yuli. He's now 40 years old. Made the Padres after a strong spring training. hitting here against Hader. Yuli faced Hader back when he was an Astro, and Hader was a Brewer in 2019. Overall, 3 career plate appearances. He's 0 for 2 with a walk and 2 strikeouts. Yuli pinch hitting for Ornelas. Goes after the first pitch and fouls one back. A lot of years for Yuli Gurriel with great memories here in Houston. But now he's the final hope for the Padres in a 3-2 game in the 9th. Yuli pops it in the air to right field. Cam Smith camps under it, and the Astros have won 2 in a row for the first time in 2025. Josh Hader a save on back-to-back nights against his former team. And the new guys on the corners, Christian Walker and Isaac Paredes coming through huge tonight, Blummer.
Can't believe it happened, Todd. We did it. Back-to-back. One more, and that'll be a streak. But a big game tonight. We can have all the fun we want, but those guys went out and did a very good job against a very good team in the San Diego Padres. And you're right, TK, a couple of new additions going out there, having some huge at-bats and making some great defensive plays. It's great to see Christian Walker have an impact on this game, an Astros W.
Christian Walker tied it. Isaac Paredes put them ahead, and Josh Hader closed the door to win it. The Astros have won 2 in a row for the first time this year. They'll have the story for you on the Astros post-game show presented by Whataburger. Kevin Eschenfelder, Brian Bogusevic, Julie Morales gathering interviews. Post-game show next.